where's it at right now? How many Indian American, Pakistani American, I guess we'll just say subcontinent, are head of these large companies?
I mean, a lot in tech. It's
Microsoft.
Microsoft, Google for now.
Yeah.
I think Adobe.
Ooh, a little turbulence.
I mean, I think Sundar's on the way out. Like Satya Nadella's like, Brown going up, and Sundar is. They're both like South Indian. They're like both very stereotypical people. But Sundar does not have the riz, so to speak, and he's always been like that.
Does that have anything to do with the AI mishap at Google?
But it's a symptom of a bigger issue. Sundar has been sitting on. So Sundar Pichai, the CEO of, I think he's the CEO of Alphabet, but definitely Google, but he's CEO of Alphabet. He came into a situation where his company was on top. Satya Nadella came into the situation where Microsoft was kind of a has-been. So Satya turned around Microsoft, turned into this big cloud company and whatnot. While Sundar rested on his laurels, like they have not had a successful product in a very long time. Google got Glass, and they didn't do social. They never captured social media, so forth. So, and like people who are in Silicon Valley, who are in tech, they know Microsoft is, or not Microsoft, but Google is where you go to retire. You want to go collect that like, $200, $300, $400, $500,000 and not do much. There you go. Go to Google. This used to be what Microsoft was. It used to be what IBM is. That's where Google is now. Obviously, they have a monopoly rent on search. They can turn it around, but they need to bring someone else in to turn it around, just like Satya turned around Microsoft. Microsoft had the same thing. They were like printing cash with Office, but they saw that at some point this was going to cause problems, and that they were going to have to do something different. And they did. They pivoted into cloud and all these other things. Azure is a big deal. Google's that also around the Google Cloud is the also ran. Amazon AWS is the champion, and then Azure is probably number 2, and then you have trailing Google Cloud. So Sundar has not. He's been risk averse. He has not had vision. He has not. He's going to be a very rich man when he gets fired. So whatever, it's all good. But Satya Nadella has turned it around. People say in the Valley, Sundar Pichai is the Steve Ballmer of Google.
That's damning.
Yeah,
people listening have some context for Ballmer. Although the Clippers might win the championship this season, I wouldn't bet on it, but they certainly look better this season. But that's been, I think, somewhat of a flop, his acquisition of the Clippers, considering all the resources that he put into it. That was a topic. We were at a thing in Berkeley, and that was a topic, Google, and how it's just become so cumbersome as a large company. And there was all this hubbub about about Gemini, and how people said that the output was too woke to be accurate, not just giving
it's deeper
people.
Than that. We're talking about the AI.
It's deeper than that.
Let me tell you what I heard from people at DeepMind, which is the AI outfit that Google acquired years ago. So I asked like when OpenAI came out with ChatGPT, like, what's up with Google? Like, why Google invented they pioneered large language models and all these other things and transformers. What's going on? Somebody at DeepMind reached out to me. They're like, this is what happened. About 5 years ago, we started making a lot of progress and doing exciting things. And our managers got freaked out. So they had a meeting with their managers, and those managers also got freaked out. And so they brought in the VPs or whatever, and then they got freaked out. And they gave us no direction, and they said, like, we were worried what the impact this will have. And so at that point, a lot of DeepMind engineers decide to focus on their own projects and just collect salaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everything that they worked on was never going to get released as a product. It was never going to be productized, right? And so they just gave up and are focusing on their own things and collecting their salaries, even though Google has the smartest people in the world in the room. They're not leveraging it because the institution is not geared towards that anymore. It's ruled by product managers. It's ruled by risk aversion. The issue is you're a product manager that's like senior. You're making more than $500,000 a year. Do you want to risk your job, or do you want to just pass the buck and continue collecting the salary? 99% of people are doing the second. When you have a startup at OpenAI's size, they're vision aligned. They want to change the world. They don't want to just collect the salary. If they want to just collect the salary, and by the way, they do pay $500,000 a year to their engineers, so they pay a lot, But if they want to just collect the salary and not work, they would go work at Google. And so that's what the difference is. The difference is the institution of the culture, not the science. Google had the science, but they didn't pull the trigger because they were terrified. OpenAI, Sam Altman took the gun, aimed it at our culture, and pulled the trigger.
I wonder if it's just too late. I'm not smart enough to know. This is your world, but Google, what's its future? Can it possibly change this cultural problem it seems to have?
So yes, because what they could do is like really, really push the layoffs. First of all, pare back. They could do that. They've already, like, all these companies have started to do that. The ZIRP, the zero interest rate period, resulted in massive expansion. A lot of non-tech people in particular, like, we're not going to talk about it, but like the whole like DEI layoff thing, it's just because they don't have the money anymore. It was free money, like all of those extra people that they brought in to do all those random things. It was free money, zero interest rates, whatever. Now that money is expensive, they're cutting back naturally, right? So, they could cut down to the core, to really the productive unit. And then, Microsoft turned itself around. It turned itself around to some extent by becoming a cloud company, doing cloud offerings to supplement its cash cow of Office. What can Google do? The terror that Google has right now is if AI gets good enough, that it replaces search. And AI is replacing search to some extent for me. Because search is all Google has. Like, it's got YouTube, but really Google is printing cash because of search. And so if we switch from search to AI, if we like get up in the morning, if you have a question, you just ask the AI bot.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't it? I guess it's just so intuitive it's going to go that way. Why would it not?
It probably will. So Google really has to, because like these sorts of head starts are hard to overcome. OpenAI, despite its although Microsoft is backing it, so it does have resources. This is a horse race right now, and Google did not shoot out with a gun. Like again, like Sam Altman shot the gun, and Google was like, its horse was like, what's going on here at first, right? They did not react, and now that they're reacting. But obviously, the whole Gemini fiasco shows that their management problems are really big. And so Sundar Pichai has to clean house or he will be cleaned out. That's clearly, he will be pushed out. There's already talk of Sergey coming back in.